Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. It's AJ, the Suburban Princess, here with another edition of Five Questions. Technically, it's not really five now that I've realized how I've asked these questions before. But as you notice, if you're watching me on my channel, AJ Jones, I like to pry into people's business just a bit. So tonight's guest is someone you have met through my last Link Up episode where it was just all the men's. And one of those handsome men's is here spending his Sunday with me, and I appreciate it. Welcome, Mr. Darryl. How are you, sir?
I'm good, AJ. Thank you for having me there. I appreciate you.
Yes, I love your energy. So as soon as we were done that Link Up episode, I said, yep. Gotta get Darryl back, gotta get Diddy back. It's
Oh,
just
thank you for having me. That just makes me feel all warm and tingly inside
I'm
outside the
telling
room right
you.
now.
Some people you don't have to spend a lot of time with. You just get a good vibe with, as we discussed before I started recording. But yeah,
Absolutely.
I definitely wanted to pick your brain because there's a lot of stuff, especially because, as you know, most of the people I've met through Twitter, if not through association with, with E-Rock or say with like Terry or Shantae, hey girls, if you watch this, I just feel like it's always nice to get a little taste of people's personalities as we're kind of going through this like very dismal sports season right now. We're kind of in this weird pocket of I hate every team that's not doing well.
Yes.
And we're not looking forward to the Sixers, but we are, but we're not, because we still
We
have
need some type of peace.
Oh my God. There's just like, can we get a break? Because I feel like there's nothing to be hopeful about. And I don't want to get into Negadelphia. So I don't know. I don't know about you, but first of all, before we get into questions, I just want to give a little taste, like where are you from? What's your love of sports? And I don't know, what do you think about doing these kind of things? Do they make you uncomfortable? But we'll start from the beginning. Where are you from?
Yeah, I'm from Washington, D.C., born and raised. I've traveled the world. I was in the military for a while, so I've got to see the world. As far as sports is concerned, so living in DC is different with sports. It's not the same as Philadelphia sports. My dad is a diehard Washington football team fan. And to be honest with you, he got me, he wanted me to be a fan too. Even my first birthday, my mom has pictures of they had a Redskins birthday party for me. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I rooted for the Redskins because I wanted to follow my dad, you know what I mean? And at that young age, but as I got older, I just started rooting for players, and I've said this on your show before. Michael Irvin was my favorite player when I was a kid because I loved the University of Miami.
Yes.
But as my younger sister, me and my sister are a year apart. She went to grad school at Drexel.
Okay.
And so coming out the military, like I said, still, rooting for players here and there. Just never had a team because I just wasn't rooting for the whole Washington thing.
Right.
And what's every Sunday in Philadelphia? Football. Eagles football.
That's all.
And so, coming up there every Sunday, every weekend to visit my sister and just staying at her apartment or whatever, I just fell in love with the city. I just fell in love with the fandom. Like, you guys, regardless of how sucky they are, it doesn't matter whether it be the Flyers, the Sixers, the Phils. It don't matter. Y'all still be on it. Yep. So, like, to me, loyalty is everything. So I just fell in love with Eagles football and then transition into all the other Philadelphia sports.
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard to resist, right?
Yeah, like it's wild, and you know what? I love it. You know what I mean? It's an abusive relationship, but only the real ones are built for it. I'll just say that. So to the city of Philadelphia, you guys are real, and yeah, because y'all were raised in this shit. I wasn't, I couldn't be an adopted son.
Welcome, and just our filth as we keep changing every year, but it's like same shit, different team. But anyway. But I do thank you once again for doing this, but we're going to pop it off with random questions. And I do, because like, I'm always telling you that I'm always like tired and I've become this big hermit since quarantine wrapped. And I feel like I've never really left quarantine mentally. Are you a morning person or more of a night owl?
I'm both. I can be both, depending on the situation. Because before quarantine, I had to be to work at 6:30 in the morning, every morning. And I did that on purpose because if folks don't know, DC traffic is horrible. It's trash. So just to beat traffic and get home early in rush hour traffic, I could be an early bird. Okay. But since quarantine or whatnot, it's been a situation where staying in bed longer. All I gotta do is just get up out of my bed and log on to my computer.
Exactly.
And then I'm staying up late at night, you know what I mean? Watching, whether it be a football game, basketball game, or whatever. So I can be either both, depending on the situation or what's going on. If it's a work week on vacation, out of town, I can do both.
Good, cool. Because I mean, I think as you, like I said, when you get older, you have to kind of learn to kind of adapt. I'm still not there. I'm still struggling, as you know. That's why I love that question when you straight up said, I hate when people are late. I said, I can understand it, but I wish my mind could tell my body that, like, tomorrow I got to start going back to our hybrid schedule. So I go in Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So Mondays, usually I'm fine. It's the middle of the week that I start slacking. And Wednesdays are harder to get up than, a Monday or a Friday for some reason. So
Okay.
it's literally one of those things. I could put 15,000 alarms. It's nothing works. Like my body just won't work. So
Yeah, and then I'm military too. So
yeah, well, there you go.
I've worked so many different shifts to, waking up at 4:30 in the morning, in basic training to as soon as I get to my first duty station, I'm literally going to work at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and work until 12 midnight, or, going to work at 11 o'clock at night and not getting up till 7 in the morning. So, it's a little versatility over here.
I went through a period, obviously, when I was in my mid to late 20s, maybe 30s, when I was really starting to hardcore go out and hang with my friends like that. Like we out in the streets. And yeah, I mean, I didn't know the difference between early and late, like everything blended. I was just like, if I'm up, I'm up. If I'm not, I'm not.
Yeah.
But it is a blessing to be disciplined. I'll tell you that. But all right, so I'm going to move on to another one. Since we're talking about going out, being that I'm a female, I'm not one of those people, even now in my older age, can I handle the strong brown liquor? What is, since you're sipping, what is your favorite drink of choice when you are out?
Okay, so I'm sipping a Cabernet right now because I'm just chilling in the house. That's my wind down. I've had a long day. I just want to chill out. Or even if I take the wife out for a nice dinner, it'll be that. But if we're at like a bar, or I'm just saying me and you go hang out or whatever, it's a nice whiskey. Give me a nice whiskey and ginger ale. I can't drink it straight no more. I'm getting a little too old for this shit. Yeah, I can't. I can't. Like, I got a couple health problems, migraines for the most, so I can't drink as much as I used to. But yeah, I can do a nice whiskey, ginger ale, and just unwind or whatever. If I'm with the wife, of course, she's gonna be feeding me tequila, and I can be versatile with that too.
Yes. Yeah. I love tequila. That is probably my favorite all time now, even more so now. Like sometimes just that shot is just all I need. The rest of the night I can drink water.
Yeah.
And
but yeah, those are the only two I can drink though. It's either whiskey bourbon or tequila. I had to think about it for a second.
I know. I only did bourbon once when I had a really bad head cold and someone said it would be a good reliever for the pressure.
And that's one of them Southern remedies right there. That's what the hot toddies with anything brown.
Yes, that's what it
break
was.
That shit down. Yeah.
Yeah. I went one night. It was lingering for like more than a day or two. And my coworker just finally said, why don't you just get some bourbon, and just shoot, before you go to bed. And I guarantee you're gonna feel better. And I was just like, all right. So I woke up next day and I was like, son of a bitch. I was like,
it worked. It'll break that shit down. Yeah.
I was like shocked. I'm like, okay, Liz, thank you, girl. But anyway, yeah, I used to drink a lot, but I'm not, it doesn't take much. I'm definitely a sweet girl in the sense that the sugar is what I like, and then I'm done. Like I don't need to be.
Are you like the little cute drinks with all the colors and shit?
I think my first drink was a Sex on the Beach. So, I love that kind of like Malibu Bay Breeze and stuff like that, because the sugar is all I want. Like I'm a sugar person, but it's not like I like sweets per se. I just like sweet stuff because I just like that quick rush.
That quick buzz. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and the only reason I've ever fallen on my face drunk was my birthday like years ago. And that was honestly because I was mixing. Because when you mix all those cocktails,
yes,
you don't know what's in them. You know what I mean? Like
yes.
It happens. So it's like by that point, I only remember popping up. I don't remember falling.
Well, I'm gonna give you a little bit of advice with those sugary drinks.
Yeah.
Because the sugar in the drinks, that'll contribute to a headache faster than anything that's mixed. Yes. I
have learned, and I've noticed too that it's hard to stay asleep. Like I noticed throughout the night, I will wake up and then I'm like, but then I won't feel totally sleepy when I go back to sleep. But it's just really weird, and it's almost like this 24-hour like I'm tired, but I'm not tired. And so I had to be careful about doing that when we used to go out repeatedly. And then now that we've kind of both been like tired at 9 o'clock, now our asses are like. It's wine and that's it. You know what I mean?
listen, I got real quick. I just want to interrupt. Like
Mhm.
yesterday, me and the wife went to a taco festival,
Oh,
and of course they had margaritas and shit like that. And we had our little margaritas. Like, all right, we're gonna stop past my buddy's restaurant and grab a drink. Had a drink, and we didn't have the kids with us, and not AJ. We were in the house at 8 o'clock,
I
and
understand.
we were perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure.
Perfectly fine.
I have no judgment, especially if you're a parent, because first of all, you're already tired. That's a job that never stops.
Mm-hmm.
There's the constant stress, and then add alcohol on it on a night that you probably didn't have to like worry about them as much. It's like just everything releases. So,
Yes.
to me, that's automatically you're allowed when you're a parent. When you have produced life,
Yes.
you are allowed.
Yes. Yes.
You
Yes.
know, I had no excuse. I was just either lazy and just couldn't hold my liquor. So that was like I'm my own child. Like I tell people that's why I never wanted to have children because I'm like, I am enough. Okay.
You know what? I like that. I like that. I
You know
like
what I'm
that.
saying? Like when
For
you
anybody out there, you are your own child. That's why you choose not to have kids.
I am
Learn from AJ.
I am a baby woman. I admit it. I'm fine with that. You know what I'm saying? Like 40s didn't scare me at all. I was actually really happy to be in my 40s, but
Okay.
physically, you could take it. Like physically, it's annoying.
Yeah.
Everything freaking hurts for no reason at all, you know. And I have to stretch every time I get up. I'm like, what the fuck? Why do I have to stretch every time I get up?
Listen, you before we got on here, you were talking about yoga. I took my wife on our anniversary to her. She does yoga before,
Yeah.
but I took her to we went to Virginia Beach and I found a yoga studio.
Mhm.
And I was like, all right, let me be cute and do the yoga with her. Well, as most folks know, I had knee surgery in 2020.
Oh, that's right.
So a lot of things I cannot do.
Can't,
But
yeah.
I was more limber
Okay.
than I thought I was.
Okay.
And I left. I was so relaxed. So I'm like now, speaking of going into my 40s, I'm actually going to start doing more yoga myself because it's a lot of people do it, I think, for mental and relaxation.
Yeah.
But like for me, that it bumped the mental shit. My body was feeling great.
Darryl's like,
Shit.
yes,
Yeah, you would have thought I was 13 years old again on the basketball court.
No, that's why I know I'm starting to creep back into the crickety stage because for a while when I was doing it it was my replacement for working out with my friend when she does her belly dance cardio online, and then that would help me just to get moving, and then the yoga would be like my cool down day. And you notice it when you don't do it. It's been about a month and a half since I've done some real good yoga. So it's like I can feel it now. Like everything is starting to be like I'll wake up and I just almost feel like my shoulder just likes to live in my ear.
Yes.
Like okay.
Yes, because my back has been on fire for the past 3 weeks.
Yes. And I got a new mattress and I still wake up and go, how is my where was my leg? Like what's you know what I mean? Like stuff is going numb. Like I'm just like, what the freak is going on?
It's something that the alcohol can't solve anymore.
No, and anything it's worse if I drink too much because then I really don't want to move in the morning. So that's why I said tonight it's gonna be a certain amount of Zinfandel and I'll be chill. But all right, moving on. I wanted to see, I'm the type of person I always talk about music a lot with people because I feel like it kind of almost gives your personality away without even saying anything.
Right.
So, but I love music in general, but there are some music genres that I would say are technically guilty pleasures. But what is your like? I don't know, who are you banging right now in your ears, and who's really getting you in the mood? Or do you have some songs that you're like, I normally wouldn't like that, but it's starting to get to me and I like it, but don't tell nobody type of thing.
I'm not afraid of shit. This is actually my favorite question when you sent it to me because I love music as well. If I had a go-to right now, just bumping in the car, just riding, it's a lot of Young Dolph. Okay. But my go-to, when I want to relax, because I'm very old school. Like a lot of people see me on Twitter or social media as being the hashtag violent or ain't
yeah. Love it, innovator.
Yes, and I love doing that. But I'm actually in real life a calm person. I'm a very relaxed person. I actually bought myself last year for Christmas a record player. Nice. And I have my old school vinyls. My go-to when I just want to relax and just chill out, I'll pop in my AirPods and I'll put on Phyllis Hyman.
Yeah.
Yes, my favorite song is actually Meet Me on the Moon. My mom got me on that when I was younger. It's my mom's favorite singer, and it's actually my favorite singer too. Yeah. I do a lot of old school stuff. I just want to just wind down, just chill out. And let's just say that's my go-to, a lot of old school stuff. And that's why me and Shay click, because Shay is the same way as well. She does a lot of old school music as
Yeah.
well. And like she's way younger than both of us.
Right.
So like for me to her to click on that level right there, I was just like, that's perfect. So yeah, I love a lot of old school music.
Yeah.
Phyllis Hyman and Donny Hathaway, Kenny Lattimore. I'll do
I
Earth,
love
Wind,
Kenny
and
Lattimore.
Fire. Yeah, Earth,
Yeah.
Wind, and Fire. I'll go Ashford and Simpson. You know,
Oh,
I'll go
yeah.
straight old school. Yeah.
Yeah. As long as I remember videos. I mean, there's so many artists now. Look
Yeah.
back today, like I still since I even started watching MTV or any of the video shows. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean,
Classic.
and you would think our genre. Remember when they had the box? You know,
Yes.
you call in and
My
do it
aunt
on
had
TV.
it. Yes, when I used to go to her
Right,
house.
and exactly. We're watching TLC. We're watching
Yes.
Biggie. We're watching Pac and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was cool back then. But as I got older and as I became like a grown man, like I actually enjoyed the older old school music, that old school R&B, where the guys just sitting there begging like a motherfucker just to make sure, just so they get their lady back. You know what I mean?
And not being too overt. I think that's what too.
But they told you in so many words what they were going to
did.
do.
But I didn't feel dirty.
Let's go. Exactly. Teddy said, "Turn off the lights and light a motherfucking candle."
Yeah.
And you know what time it was. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And even the women.
Yes.
Even the women be like, you know, hey, I want this. I'm gonna tell you in so many words. You got to be the man for me. This is what I want. This is what I deserve. Come get me.
Just simple, direct. And that's the thing.
Exactly.
That's what I used to miss about music. But that's why, like, as far as anything newer school from like the 80s, like that's why I'm always gonna tell people I love Maxwell, because Maxwell to me was the most vulnerable of male voices without him seeing like too out there. Like I feel like he's deep, but he's not deep enough that you can't figure out where he's coming from and what his vibe is. You know, that's
what Phyllis was for me, because Phyllis, you, as we know, dealt with a lot of mental issues.
Yes.
But she also told you when she was in a sunken place, she also told you what she wanted to. So you saw the vulnerability. And touch on what you said about Maxwell, like when the vulnerability is there, that's when I think the music is at its best.
Oh God, yes. Yeah. That's why I'm still waiting for him for this last of his trilogy, because he took forever to do the night part of Midsummer Night. So I'm like, when are you doing it?
Look at you. You ready?
I'm so annoyed. And I'm like, especially with the quarantine, like, you know how people were just dropping music randomly, and you know, so it's like with Maxwell now, I think he's teasing it again and doing his little hashtags. And I was like, oh God, Jesus, I think it's this year. I was like, please.
Listen, y'all better pray for AJ when Maxwell releases.
I used to go to every time he came through, up until like the last couple times he came through, because the tickets just got so obscene. I was like, come on now. So I just stopped, you know. Yeah.
My aunt went to a concert in DC and saw him leaving out the limo and actually ran 2 blocks chasing the limo.
I understand.
Yes.
I understand.
So
yeah,
I won't understand, but I'm glad you understand.
Yeah, I mean, I can't, hell no, I ain't running nowhere. But no, I'm the type of person, I'm like, if you within an arm's length, maybe I might make an extra appearance, be like, hi, smile your way type of thing. But yeah, no, I ain't running for nobody. I wasn't even a really good stalker within sync. I couldn't do that crap. I'm like, how do these bitches know where they are? Like, how are you following the groups, you know? And
the one thing me and my wife have in common with music, this right here was my crush, Aaliyah. Yes, so that's why she has that picture up there. And that was her favorite singer as a child.
Yeah, it's hard not to love her now, especially with the music finally all out. Thank God. I was waiting.
We all were.
I was really mad at Barry. I was like, come on, Uncle Barry, what the frick are you doing?
Look, I ain't like Uncle Barry. I ain't like Dame Dash. I ain't like anybody. It was like, look, Aaliyah was supposed to be my girl, goddamn.
Yes. F all y'all. Y'all can all mess it up.
Fuck all y'all.
Fuck all y'all, you know. And then when it started dropping in little teasers, I'm like, okay, y'all lucky I still have my CD from her last album, because that was really honestly my favorite head to toe album, because it was her most mature. It wasn't obviously our kind of influences. Obviously, she was her own. And I still love One in a Million, but I mean, Aaliyah, her self-titled, is definitely a piece of work that I love. It's gorgeous.
For sure. I actually got it on vinyl. I paid a grip for it, but I got it.
I understand it. I mean, my niece just bought, and she's 18, and she has a record player before her and her, they all came back from overseas because her father was in the military, and she has a cute little, that's a new thing now. Like now that's the retro stuff coming back, like people getting the vinyls.
Ain't it? It's crazy, ain't it?
It is crazy, because I used to love to listen to records as a kid. I used to listen to audiobooks, I guess, on record. You know, I used to listen to 101
Yeah.
Dalmatians and all that stuff when I came home from school. Like, so it's weird how life is cyclical. But
No.
but yeah. But go ahead.
But if they start bringing back cassette tapes, then it's gonna be a fucking problem.
Okay. And here's so it took me a long time even to just shed CDs, and I'm still purging. Like, so they better chill because like until my parents divorced, we still had 8-tracks still in the den room. Okay. And those motherfathers are too thick. So I don't know how to
Yes.
survive that. But
yes.
yeah, if they bring back cassettes, I'm fighting because I'm be like, you know how many cassettes I threw out, you know, and
Same here. Same here.
I mean, I was always hustling on South Street trying to sell stuff to get money when I really needed cash, and I would have to really part with some CDs that I didn't want to.
Oh, you was out there with the brothers with the oils and shit.
I was hustling with a bag. Like, it was a rough time in between my last apartment. I was like, yo, I got no money this week. I don't get paid for another 2. I need like whatever you want. And they used to insult me. Yeah. They used to insult me. They used to be looking at my music like, I'm like, okay, whatever. It's still in good condition. What are you gonna give me? You know? So I felt very judged.
You should have just saved that just for nostalgia purposes.
Well, I have no choice now. Some of that stuff I still can't sell. I mean, I just refuse to toss it out, especially now that like stuff is coming back. So
yeah, so keep it. Yeah, I agree with you.
I'm gonna keep it because my mom still, I'm literally looking at the dining room now and she still has we still have a CD disc player. So she listens to some of her stuff I bought her years ago.
Okay.
You know, and gospel, like there's a lot of stuff when I used to go to church all the time. I used to listen to the sermons on
okay.
So yeah, no.
So you might be one of them Reverend James Cleveland girls.
I know the name, but yeah, there was only certain people I liked and I stayed in that lane, you know, but I probably heard, I mean, you know, certain people I always, when I hear their voices, I'm like, yeah, it's hard not to not listen still because Yolanda Adams and people like that, certain Shirley Caesar, certain Kim Burrell, you know, you hear certain guys just like, okay, pause. I have to just.
And see, I grew up with my grandma, so I got a lot. So I have in my music repertoire, I have a lot of old school music, Mississippi Mass Choir, Reverend James Cleveland, Shirley, shit.
Shirley.
I can, oh my God, little Cedric, like,
I know. Yeah, you're gonna start pulling stuff out that I was like, I've heard titles,
but that's how my grandma was. Like my grandma raised me in the church, and I have a big religious background. You can never tell, but by my tweets or whatnot.
No, but
you know, but I mean,
adults now. We still live it, but we still know the truth.
But I never forgot where I came from. So it's a lot. So a lot of my music background touched on the question you asked earlier, like. It doesn't just stop with R&B. I can go to old school gospel. I can go to old school rap. Biggie's my favorite rapper of all time. You know, I love music, period. When I say period, I mean period.
And as soon as you said that, as soon as you said old school, I forgot that tonight is the verses with KRS-One.
KRS-One and Big Daddy Kane.
So I have to make sure I listen to some of that because I don't remember everything. Because mind you, it was early 80s. I was still like probably 5 to like, you know, but I know I heard it in the house. My sister listened to music in the house. But who's your guilty pleasure? Because do you have a guilty pleasure? Or somebody you're like, I kind of like certain things. I don't want to say it, but I don't know, whatever.
Guilty pleasure. Let me think. That's a good question.
Because you're a chill person, so I'm thinking I have no shame in saying I still love and sing, and I still love Justin Timberlake. Fuck everybody. I don't
care. Maroon 5.
And see that is
Adam Levine.
He's still cool. It's not like Nickelback level. Like, you know how people say Nickelback you should never mention. I'm like, but who didn't like that song when it was out?
I'm a big Adam Levine fan.
Yeah, I can see it.
You know what I mean? That or Rihanna.
Yeah. I'm just now starting to really like her more, and I think it's probably because of her whole branding now, like with the underwear, the jewelry.
But I'm an island boy, so.
Well, there you go. Bam. So
I go with that. And my wife has put me into a lot of African Afro beats now. So
I'm starting to appreciate that stuff too, because now I used to hear it, but I never realized that's what it was. Like,
you never appreciate it, right?
No,
right.
And I, again, isolated. I used to always just stick to one lane with certain music, but I appreciate it when I hear it live. God forbid, if I'm out,
for sure.
Things you hear, you're like, what is this? And now with Shazam, you can go anywhere on your phone and just be like, I love this song from and
but if you see me like if we're all hanging out, like if we're hanging out and we just have some music and my trigger is reggae.
Yeah, and I wish I could dance good with that. Like that's the one song, like music I like to watch other people dance besides
It's
Latin.
not hard though.
But the winding part, that whole part of your body, like Rihanna, is not natural to me.
It's a lot of hip music. That's how I got my wife. Like real, she's like, "Oh, you can keep up." I say, "Yeah, I sure as fuck can." You're damn right.
Look, I tell people that's only good for me when I have, again, tequila. I can only seem to keep up with that and any kind of African dancing when I have
it came so natural. Like I look at a lot of people, like if you look at our culture now, like let's say our generation per se. If you look at our generation now, it's only a select few that can actually dance to and have the rhythm to it. But you look at these kids now got that shit down pat. Like they practice. As soon as they get off work, they sitting there whining and everything else.
Studying it. It's seriously a study.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Because I mean, I'm watching kids. I mean, and that was even back in the 90s. People would say like Tokyo and all them know a lot more about hip hop than we do here. And I'm just like,
for sure.
I mean, everybody is kind of focused, but yeah, you're right. I mean, you pop on TikTok and you see girls that are 10 times lighter than me. Just
exactly. And they just want, and they wind it like it's wild. Like, but you know what? I just say this because that's the way how we appreciated hip hop. You know, and our parents appreciate a lot of R&B and soul or whatnot. They're appreciating the more Afro beats and the reggae and stuff like that. So that's all I can say. God knows, you know, how my kids are looking like what you listening to now. You know what I mean?
I know. Here's this generation like, what you listened to back in the day? And I'll be like, you're talking about old, still around. What are you talking about? But you know, our parents say their music was better. Now I'm saying ours was better.
Exactly. You know? I'm trying to fucking keep up.
Look, and I can't keep up. When you said Young Dolph, I mean, I knew who he was, but I was this quick to thinking of somebody else, and I said, I don't think that's who he was talking about. Whatever, because you know, all the littles and the babies is starting to confuse the fuck out of me.
Yeah, like, it's either little, young, or baby.
Right. I'm just at this point where I just want you to say Paul. Like, just give me one word. Because the littles are killing me. You know what I mean? Like, there's the baby, there's Lil Baby, Wheezy Baby. Like, I'm just like, can y'all stop? Like,
we can't keep up.
We can't, because we know y'all been working on that demo for like 20 years and you're going to come into the industry as little.
Exactly.
Who are you kidding?
Exactly.
I know the industry is different. I'm like, you can't fool me. Y'all live more lives than I have as I'm actually growing in this world. So you can't tell me that you're little nobody because you got 10.
I'm just trying to embrace it. That's all.
Oh yeah, I mean anything with a beat I'm cool with, but I just know my limits. I'm not gonna put myself on the floor when reggae is playing and I'm not drunk. So it's just not gonna happen. I'm just gonna sit there and go, that's right, go girl, go. And everybody I can keep the beat, I can do it. I'd be like, no. I'm a good chair dancer. Just chill out.
look, just put it like this. We ever go hang out and you hear reggae, just look for me.
I am. I'm gonna be like D. Hide me. Do your thing. That's like, because I'm not doing shit for watching. Because I mean, and it's no different from when you go to any. Because my friend is big on like all of the Latin dances, bachata, and you know everybody wants to grab you in bachata and stuff, and I'd be like, no, because you do that arm twist shit, and I get pissed.
You know what? You know what? Like I saw it. Yeah, it's gonna take some time for me.
I'm saying
I'm gonna have to stretch.
I'm saying stretch.
Yeah.
Not get thrown off with my coordination because then you start twisting and now I'm dizzy. So it's just I can't because you know who look at everything you're supposed to.
Right. So I'm gonna tell you surprisingly. You know who got rhythm? Who got some rhythm? E-Rock. Watch E-Rock.
I have noticed. I've witnessed him and the wifey. I've noticed them both, and I said, I see why I associate with these people.
Yes.
Because there are people that you will only mess with. To me, that was always an indicator. And people used to say that was stupid, but I'm like, if you can dance, if you have no problem dating outside your race, you can hang with me. Because I'm very much. And
you know what? That's the same thing. And once I see him doing the wobble, him and his mom, I was like, yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah, that's what it is. And some people, it's not, you don't even have to really ask. You just know it. Like if you can hang like
for sure.
If we're just at the tailgate, you hear the music and you see somebody bopping their own beat, I'd be like,
oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one. Yes.
Like me, music to me is the only thing that really, besides obviously sports, is that links us all. Without it,
it's universal.
It's universal. You're not worried about where you came from, your nationality. You just want to respect if there's a dance to it, you know, I'm not
For
gonna go out
sure.
there and be all like this and I don't know what the freak I'm doing. No,
Right.
no,
Yes. I
you
totally I
know.
totally agree. That's why I said that was my favorite question you asked, because I love music.
Yes, yes. And I'm obsessed. I mean, you see, and I've seen you tweet, we all tweet every now and the first thing in the morning, somebody just said, I'm in this kind of mood. And I just start sharing what I'm spinning on my playlist. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Oh, and sometimes it reminds you, like, oh, I love that song. Now I'm gonna go listen to it. So yeah, music is
Yes.
universal. I love anybody who likes to talk about it. I could talk about it all day. Have you done any concerts this year with everything going on?
Uh
Quarantine?
no, I haven't yet. I'm trying to think, have I? No. So the only thing is my mom has been doing a lot of concerts
Oh, okay.
lately. Soon as the venues opened up in the area, she's seen like Earth, Wind and Fire. She's went to go see Kitty Lattimore.
Mm,
Um, yeah, she just been out there. Like I personally, it's to me, so don't judge me, but I've only been to live three concerts in my lifetime.
okay.
I'm ashamed to say it, my first concert was R. Kelly.
Wow.
Um, my second concert, I took my wife on her 30th birthday. She loved Chris Brown. So I made sure she had front row seats to see Chris Brown.
Mm.
And me and my mother-in-law, because I love old school, we went to go see Loose Ends together.
Who was it?
So I've only been Loose Ends.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, I remember. Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
so
Like so
funny.
I've only been to three concerts in my lifetime. And at this point, like it's nobody out there that I really, really want to see. I put it to you like this: if Beyonce comes back out, because everybody says doesn't do a Beyonce show, I'll go see Beyonce. If Rihanna comes back out, of course I'll go see Rihanna.
Yeah.
But
So
as far as anything else, like there's nobody out there. I'll just say I'd rather go see the bigger names at this point.
yeah, and honestly, I was a little spoiled too when we were in quarantine, where you know, obviously everybody or who likes music was listening to Be Nice Spin on Instagram
Mhm.
and
Right.
Questlove, because Questlove was giving you story time and all that stuff. So he was
Hmm.
entertaining you during this whole crazy period, and I was loving it. And then they would even do virtual concerts. Like, so I saw Melanie Fiona. She did a virtual concert. Now, mind you,
Okay.
a lot of signal issues. You know, obviously a lot of people with Wi-Fi issues, but
Right.
I think everybody had to learn to be patient with Zoom, you know, since we all
Right.
use it. But you know, and then I did I think John B had a virtual thing. It was like, and there were cheap tickets. So it's like, you know, me, I'm like
Right.
$50, you got me. I'll sign up to this
You
service.
can't beat that.
You
Right.
can't beat it. So, and I didn't want to go anywhere this year at all until JoJo resumed her touring. And me and Shantae love
Period.
JoJo. But
Ah,
Shantae
okay.
Shantae had hurt her back. And so she couldn't go before I went to Puerto Rico. So I went by myself. And I missed her. But when I walked into Underground Arts and saw how packed
Mhm.
it was, I was like, oh my
I'm pretty sure you just went like, shit.
it was a
I'm
super
not surprised.
spreader from junior high school dances. Like it was kind of moist in there. And I just thought, no wonder her set wasn't that long, because I'm sure she was like up there on stage going, Jesus, I gotta get off. Like,
I just do my job and roll out. Yeah.
woo! I mean, and I couldn't see her until like the people started finally moving around. So I just kind of had to just be like, I'm glad this ticket wasn't that expensive, but it kind of reminded me that it's still gonna take a while to find venues that um, your core audience can really experience without feeling a little like my social anxiety went into overdrive. Like I kept texting Shantae.
Yeah.
Like I was like, yo, if somebody touches me one more time, I swear to God, I'm gonna swing.
Yeah. No, no, I got you
Oh,
on that one. I
it
totally
wasn't it
got you on
wasn't
that one.
comfortable. It was too closed up. Like if they had done, I don't know, you can do the Fillmore where it's a little more spaced out, or you can do those
Hmm.
outside half inside venues. I don't know who booked that for her, because I feel like they didn't assume she was gonna sell out or do a big show. She's got a lot of underground people who still liked her from TRL days, you know, when she was just a young
Right.
year old girl. So we've
Right.
grown with her and grown through her label issues, including Blackground, holding her music too,
Right.
all that shit. So I loved seeing her and hearing her because she sounds just like her newest EPs out. But yeah, I realized I was definitely older than half of her crowd in there, because it was definitely millennials.
Yeah, but like you said, it's a lot of stuff coming back to where people are appreciating the music, just like we appreciate the old school music that our parents,
Yeah,
enjoy.
I could
But
have appreciated that shit at home.
who know, and I kind of went back to the question you asked me. I would want to see her in concert.
Yeah,
I
no,
love her.
her tour's coming. If she didn't already roll through with the lights out thing, I know she had a
No, no, she's next weekend.
Next weekend, okay. Yeah. I was
I got
debating.
invited to go, but I got my kids. Like I don't have a babysitter, so I wanted to go, but I
Yeah.
can't. But yeah, so that's one person I would want to see in concert.
I have a feeling that would definitely be entertaining. And I did contemplate it, but I think at the time that my friend from New York wanted me to go, because the one that she was doing in Brooklyn, my friend was going to ask me about it. And I said, girl, I already just spent tickets for these plane tickets and for our Airbnb. I'm like, I ain't trying to spend too much.
Right.
Those tickets were starting at like 200.
Oh
And
yeah, so
yeah, so I'm not trying to be, I'm a thing, if like you said, if you're worth it, I got to be close. Like I can't be in nosebleed. I mean,
yes,
the last time I was in nosebleed, it was for a ticket I didn't even pay for, but I said I would never do this again. It was for Prince. Prince, as small as it is, you want to see that
yes.
dot from all the way up at Wells Fargo?
All
Like,
you look, all you see is his pressed hair. That's it.
I just heard certain
Perfect.
songs, but that big butt speaker was in the way. So it was like, I was just basically looking at a speaker the most of the night. Like, it was just like, why did I come? But it was like, Prince, you don't say
It's
no.
Prince. At least
Prince.
you could say you saw. At least you could see you saw.
Yes.
At least you could say you saw Prince in concert. So I know this is. I know this is a 5 questions with. This is your show.
I know.
So
look,
I gotta ask you one
Go
question.
ahead.
So one person. It doesn't matter, alive, dead, current. Who would you go back and see in concert if you were allowed to?
Selena. I would love to.
Really?
Because I feel like Selena, now that I've learned the history of how she used to like to mix all the English stuff with cumbia and then do her stuff, I think now, had she still been living, she would have probably been the coolest artist to do fusion stuff with. And she probably would have probably had so many more collabos with people, even probably rap even, that I think it would be so entertaining, because you don't know what she's going to do next. And I think that's the best performer, because she was never going to be locked in one style had she finally had broken, obviously what happened to her with her English career. But yeah, I think she would have been amazing in concert. I think she would have been fun. I mean, now that I've seen all the clips that keep coming out, people keep throwing out all this live shows from when she was younger, and she would crack jokes. She was silly, then she'd be really, really sexy. And then other times, then all of a sudden she start busting out in like Janet Jackson types. Like, so she was she was definitely not just a cumbia singer. Like, she was somebody who was heavily influenced by the pop music. And so I think she would have probably made me more interested, because you don't know who she was going to probably, like what style she would have did. She may not have stayed in one lane, and that would have entertained me.
She would have evolved. Definitely.
She would have totally evolved. That's what I'm saying. Like, she would probably been able to fit with every genre as the music style changed. And that's the type of person that's going to entertain you for a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like, like a Beyonce. If Beyonce can find any genre and just make it work for her, that is
for sure.
Entertainer. So I mean, I've seen Beyonce now twice, even when I was working at the Link, and you're gonna pay for a ticket, you pay for Beyonce, because she's gonna at least leave you going out there at least shaking something, or just be like, it's hard not to dance. She's very energetic, but she also makes me tired, because by the end of her shows, I'm like, I know homegirl passed out in the backstick, because she's just nothing but a energy. And so Selena would be someone I would definitely want to see, because I know she.
And you were quick on that answer too. So I know the respect on that.
Yeah, because she's definitely someone I think in my mind I would totally vibe with, especially because she is Mexican, and on top of that, appreciative of all music. She's not just staying in the Mexican lane or Latin lane. Like, she wanted to do, like, she made Donna Summer big, because that was the songs that she sang before she was killed. So she loved disco, because she grew up on that, as a kid. So I'm always like, give me a reason to be entertained. Like, as much as people don't like him now, I still love Justin Timberlake, because at least I know when I get a show from him, he gives me a show.
For sure. For sure. He gonna get your money's worth, for sure.
He will definitely entertain you. You don't even have to really like every single song. He'll blend in something in with it. And then when he did that tour with him and Jay-Z, they went back and forth, performing stuff, and then they would perform together. And that was fun. I mean, that was something I would have never thought I'd see ever in my life, or a split ticket, but it was fun to watch. But you could tell the people who are Jay-Z fans were like waiting for him to get off the stage and be like,
I just came to see Jay. I just came to see Jay.
Right. So as soon as when they did their song that they did together, Holy Grail, what was it? It was Holy Grail, right? I think that was Yeah. So when they did that song, everybody liked that. But then when they did the teasers back and forth, everybody was like waiting for Jay to come out after Justin was doing his bit. They were like, oh, I like the song. And then they're like, okay, when's Jay coming back? You can tell people.
I paid my money for Jay. Like,
I like
off the day on stage.
Yeah, they're like, okay, sound like Michael Jackson, whatever, white boy. All right, let's go. But meanwhile, I'm jamming everything. I'm like, Raleigh hype. And they look at me like, why is she acting like she actually likes it? Because I'm a Sick fan. What you talking about? So
yeah.
But yeah,
I get asked that question a lot, and I just wanted to ask that question to you. Speaking on your what you say, like I have my answer, not to bombard your show or whatever.
No. Go ahead. Tell me now, because now I want to know.
Bob Marley for sure. I want to see Bob.
That would be fun.
Because I'm not afraid to say it. I'm a weed smoker. I and also it's his shows. I have a lot of his stuff on vinyl as well. And if you listen to a lot of Bob stuff is so peaceful.
Yep.
It's more so it's happy. Bob didn't have, if he did, I haven't heard it, but Bob didn't have any sad music. It was trying to uplift his people and just try to be like it. He said it, everything's gonna be all right.
Yeah, and that's
you know
still
what I mean.
classic.
And it's peaceful. It's very, very peaceful. So if I got to see Bob, if I could just sit there and smoke me one and listen to Bob and just wind down, and grind on my wife the whole time.
Yeah.
Listen, there'd probably be another baby made.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like there'd be new children coming out of every show every time.
Exactly.
Exactly. Because even his kids now, like Skip and oh God, who's the other kid I just heard?
You got Damien. You got
Damien.
What's the other one? You got Ziggy. You got so many of them.
Ziggy is what my sister used to love when Ziggy came out with his group, and then I started to gravitate more towards Skip because I think he did a song with her. I think he did a song with her that I liked, and then Fiona. Yes. So that whole island connection.
Well, my kid says, "Daddy, you look like Skip," and I'm like, "No, I don't. I don't. I'm sorry. I have no comparisons to anybody. Just because I have long hair, I'm light skin. I don't look like anybody.
No. I can't gel with all the Marleys.
No, not at all.
He's definitely a newer generation. Yeah, but you're right. I mean, Marley itself is universal, and every music that makes you relax there's nothing wrong with that.
For sure.
There are very Sade is always going to be a classic for me. My best.
You love Helen too, huh?
I love Helen. I love the fact that every time I see her, no matter how old she gets, she still looks young. Like the last time I've seen her, she's gorgeous.
Just the same. Oh my God.
She don't have to say anything. She could just she could have 3 words in a lyric, and as long as the mood is like, you don't even have to care. Like she could just say red, blue, purple the whole song, and you're just like,
oh, all I need to hear is Cherish the Day. That's it. I'm good. I'll walk out.
Okay, my John is Kiss of Life. Kiss of Life is my
okay.
That's a very romantic video, and it always makes me feel comfortable. I don't know why. I get very mushy, even though I don't have anybody, and obviously they're going like, why do I love this song so much? I'm like,
My mom, Sade, Anita Baker, Phyllis Hyman from my mom, and she put it on me, and from then on, like, yes.
Anita Baker is easy. Anita Baker is easy because I don't know what, my dad was always getting ready in the morning, blasting music, no matter if we were still asleep, he would blast music, and we would always DAS, and when they play every single Anita Baker or Maze, Frankie Beverly Maze.
Yes.
It's hard not to. I mean, like if you love music, it's gonna fall into
place. Yes.
Yeah. For sure. So I do agree with that. It's very hard not to keep talking with music because I could talk all night, but I want to keep you. I shan't be before you long, as they say in church. But now we're gonna go back to we got to revisit the original topic as to why I even like to talk to you as well as we all fans know. Ignore the phone because my mom's gonna pick it up.
Oh, it's all good. I'm surprised you ain't heard my kids in the background.
I know. That's why I say when you get a rare opportunity to be still, I'm like, I know I gotta make this quick. But no, with all our Philly franchises, especially now because we're kind of just watching, as we know, prepping for another Sixers year amidst all of this off-court drama with Ben that will never go away. If you, especially with the Eagles, I'm always wishing that we had the ability as fans to like be able to fire people too. Like I wish we could just go in the front office and be like, we had enough. You're done. Get out. If you had the ability to change a franchise, if you were a GM, which franchise would it be, and what would you want to do if you had the ability? Because
so I got a 2-part answer to this.
Okay, take your time.
So with specific, because how I came into Philly sports was the Eagles.
Right.
And I've expressed this on Twitter before. I am not a Howie Roseman fan at all. You know what I mean? Like I've got to
Mhm.
meet the guy, and he just gave me this. You know how you just feel somebody's energy that just I'm an easygoing person. I like everybody. You know
Right.
what I mean? I don't resort to violence all the time. You gotta give me a reason to.
Yes.
You know,
Right.
and my rule of thumb is if I fuck with you, talk about you. You know, I might joke on you, AJ, from here and there. I like you. You know, you're my people's. But
Mhm.
if I tell you I don't like you, I really don't like you.
Don't like you. Yeah.
And his energy when I met him, it was just not good. And thank him for building the Super Bowl team. I get that, but then also it's just like I feel like with him, I think a lot of things is so personal, one-sided.
Yeah.
And I can't speak for everybody, but I personally speak off of sports and give my comments based on what I did in sports or how I played the game.
Yeah.
And some of it, I didn't do everything great. I've never won a Super Bowl. I've never played for an NFL team. I've never played for a college team.
Right.
But if I can go back and change a lot of things, this is what I do. And when it comes to Howie Roseman, like I just think that with him, a lot of things are selfish.
Mhm.
I think that whether it be coaching who he wants, and I look at other teams, like I don't live in Philly.
Right.
I live close to Baltimore, but I'm from DC.
Right.
And I look at the culture in DC and they're shitting the bed down here. But you look at Baltimore,
Yeah.
like you all they talk about in Baltimore, they've had, I think, off the top of my head, maybe 2 to 3 coaches
Yeah.
in their span as a team.
Yeah.
And then Art Modell, one owner.
Yeah. Not
But then
a lot of turnaround.
also, yeah, but then their GM, Ozzie Smith built 2 Super Bowl teams. For one, he played the game.
Right.
So he knew what was up.
Right.
And I just look at the culture, and even just to go back to when the Redskins did win
Yeah.
Super Bowls, you look at the GMs then and the culture, and I'll be the first to say Jack can cook, God rest his soul. When he owned the Redskins, he invested in his team.
Mhm.
I hate to say it, and it makes my blood boil to say it, but Jerry Jones is one of the better GMs
I
in the
know.
league.
I know what you
You know
mean.
what I
I
mean?
can't take it too, but
You know what I mean? It's a lot of
solo the
envy with us.
franchise. Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like he invests in his team and it don't work out. He's like, fuck it. All right, I gotta go to get the next best thing. I mean, so when it comes to Howie Roseman, that's what I would change. On the second answer on my Philadelphia fans, I love y'all. I'm one myself, but it's just like we argue so much.
Yeah, we do.
We battle so much, and people want to be right so much.
Yeah.
But we have our regular jobs, whether we're a civil servant or we
Right.
work in sales or we work in, it doesn't matter what we do. We argue, we battle so much. And you saw it last year with the whole in 2020 with the whole Twitter shit.
Oh yeah.
And it's
That's
like we
ridiculous.
beat so much and we make it personal.
Yeah, that's the problem. We
You
do.
know what I mean? Like I choose violence a lot, but a lot of that stuff I'm playing with. Now I will beat your ass in person, but at the same time,
Yes.
if you come at me, you gotta come correct and come with your information, do your homework. And I'll be the first to tell you I'm wrong. You know
Right.
what I mean? And it's a lot of pride involved when it comes to a lot of people, male, female, whatever. And I'm not right. I'm sorry, I'm not wrong. You're wrong. I
Yeah.
feel this way. You feel this way. So it's like, I don't know if any other fan bases coming into these type of problems or
Mhm.
whatnot, but Eagles fandom and let's just say Philly, period.
In general.
Because even with the Sixers, there's still your Ben lovers and there's your Ben haters.
Right.
Me personally, I like to remain in the middle. If he does what he's supposed to do, cool.
Right.
If he's gone, peace.
Cool. Yeah.
Same thing with Carson Wentz. I love Carson Wentz, but he's not in Eagles colors anymore. So peace
right.
out.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. We some sensitive ass people. I know.
Exactly. So yeah, that's what I would change. I mean, I'm not really into baseball or hockey. But though from those two standpoints, those two things I would change.
Yeah, those
Howie
would be.
Roseman and the fans. You hear me?
Yeah. Come on, Howie, it's time, brother. Like, I don't know how many times you can have to drag us through this drama every year, because we already know in week 7 that we are done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that is not a good feeling,
And we want to have hope or whatnot, but
yeah, I do feel like at this point, especially with Jalen Hurts, it's like, and I went on this whole thing on a separate podcast for Birds of a Feather, where I just was like, I hate to say it, but I feel like there's always this underlining current of wanting a Black quarterback to fail. And that annoys me. But I know that at the same time, I don't want to contradict myself, because I know there have been Black quarterbacks that are very successful in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like there is a certain standard that, especially fans here, have just a sensitivity to how a quarterback should come off. And I feel like I like Jalen. I didn't want to like him right away, because obviously I was still kind of holding on to Carson. But everything literally changed this year. It's not like it was 2 years ago. It literally happened in the spring. So it's like I'm still trying to embrace a whole new genre of people that I don't know if I like yet. And I like that Jalen believes in himself. That's probably the most thing that I love. I love any person that visually believes in themselves and doesn't come off as like cocky, but like cocky in a good way. Like, if you can back your shit up with your skills, that's wonderful. You be cocky all you need to, but don't be cocky and you still throwing over people and you still throwing short and stuff like that's getting on my nerves. And I love that he's so cool and kind of old spirit, but I'm like, you're gonna have to be answering them questions next press conferences, because I can't deal with these cliches and this rent is due shit. You can't keep
you
doing
know
it.
What though? I feel what he was doing, but you got to also, there's so many different factors when it comes to football.
Yeah,
it's all about remember. Let's just say when we had McNabb, right? We were comfortable with our franchise quarterback. But then you had these different quarterbacks coming out, Ryan Leaf, Heath Schuler, all these different quarterbacks coming out of college. Then they get drafted with the first pick and they were dog shit.
Yeah.
And so now you got these new age quarterbacks that came out and they're doing what they're supposed to do. So as I say that in the sense of, you got coaches that are not selfish and to say, okay, my scheme works for every quarterback. You got coaches scheming around the quarterbacks that they have. That's why Justin Herbert progressed. That's why Lamar does. That's why Mahomes did what he's supposed to do. You have a lot of young quarterbacks that come out and they progress. And I guarantee, if you look at it, the quarterbacks that come out, in the past, let's say 5 years, it's probably about 70% that progress and become franchise quarterbacks. And it's only 30, whereas years ago, it was 30 to 70.
Right.
So as it pertains to Jalen or Carson at one point, you got to tailor your offense to that person. You know what I mean? And then you got to look at it too. Like, can we honestly look at Jalen and say, hey, he's not our guy, but you don't run the fucking ball.
Right. You don't really know what he's not capable of yet, because he hasn't been a chance to fully amalgamate himself into the offense. Yeah.
If he's not that guy that can pass 40 times, okay, let him not be that.
How about it?
You know what I mean?
You can't do a well-balanced offense. It is possible.
Exactly. You saw that, when Carson in 2017 won the Super Bowl. It was a balance. Carson had several games where he was under 200 yards, but the run game is perfect.
Right.
So that's why I'm not all out on Jalen. You know what I mean? People call him noodle arm. He's missing throws, this, that, and the other. Until I see him in an offense, in a scheme that caters to what he does best, I can't shit on him. I'm sorry.
I can't shit on him. I mean, I'm only mad at Sirianni just because it's obvious that he is trying so hard to come off like he knows what he's doing, and he's not. You can't piss on me and tell me it's raining, because I'm at this point where I'm like, I'm sorry, Nick. Like, you already kind of gave us that iffy feeling with your shaky press conference, and I understand that somewhere he's been compromised already, because I could tell in the second week after that Atlanta game how successful it was, that suddenly his answers after the Brandon Brooks and Brandon Graham went down, that his answers changed, and suddenly he sounded more like a front office. And I was like, what the fuck happened? Because I was waiting for him to be like, we don't know what's going to happen. Like, I think he's hurt. We are not sure. No. And then suddenly it became, we're going to find out later. We're going to check film. And I'm just like, what? Like,
But what can you do though? What can you do though, AJ? What can you do? Because it's not like you can ask him a question or respond to a question. and he gives the real answer. Now, I guarantee if he was on your show right now, you ask these damn questions, and no recording or this wasn't published or nothing like that, he would give you the real deal. But
I
like
think
you
it would
said,
be.
it's front office answers. Like coaches, NFL players have become very, very corporate
Yeah,
because you don't want to say the wrong thing for one to get fired,
right.
but two, you don't want to look bad in the media.
And also too with social media, I think they know that athletes have so much freedom with that they don't want to look like contradictory, so they want everybody to be on the same page. But I'm sorry, like as you know, we've been through this before. We could tell when things were
Mm-hmm.
changing with Carson early. We could tell things
Mm-hmm.
were going downhill with Doug early. It's just everybody was
Yeah.
starting to tune out, and you could tell they didn't even believe the bullshit they were saying in the presser. So I just stopped watching.
Yeah.
So you can't sell it to us like that here. We're going to pry, and with social media, it makes us even more encouraged to pry because we're getting all
Right.
the tidbits, and everyone wants to be, like you said, the head beat writer and all this shit, and they're dropping all these bombs, and you're like, well, what the frick is going on, But I know from the eye test, I'm already feeling like I'm out, but I know I'm going to watch. I know I'm going to root.
Yeah, for sure. Yes.
That's just what I do. But I'm already mentally like ready for this year to be over. Like I'm like,
listen, I'm an avid wrestling fan, and I'm 39 years old, and I'm a wrestling fan. That's the only thing that's giving me consistency at this point. To be honest with you,
I hear
Sixers, I
you.
don't know what's coming. Football, I already see what it is. So I
Yeah.
mean, it is what it is at this point. You know,
And it's supposed to be entertainment too. So it's like in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, that's why I was reading hardcore for, the Ravens won today, Packers won today. It was good to watch football that didn't stress me out. And then I just watched the WNBA championship. So that was good to see Candace Parker and the Chicago Sky win. That was a really good fourth quarter. So I like being entertained too. So it's like part of me realizes as angry as I can get, as much as I want to vent, I realized later, I'm like, it's not the end of the world. I'm not on the field. I'm not doing what these players are doing.
Yeah, that's why I just don't stress myself out no more. I'm not going to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if it happens, I'll be the biggest fan. Like, I didn't until 2017. I had no expectations. No. I just let it be, and they surprised the shit out of me, and I was okay with that. I'd rather be shocked more than anything. That was the most comfortable space that was ever in.
I think we thought we were getting there though, because that's how clean they played in Atlanta. And you thought for a minute, wait a minute now, are we?
I didn't, because again, it was Atlanta. Matt Ryan is
Yeah.
not great. For me, the game that threw me off was probably, who did we play week? Was it the Chiefs?
It was Chiefs. I think it was Chiefs because it was 40.
No, I'm sorry, Cowboys.
Cowboys. It was Monday night. You're right.
Yeah. Cowboys. I was like, yeah, we're not ready.
No, because that was the game that I at least wanted them to like fake it till you make it, at least like look like you could sell it, because it's the Cowboys. Like, that's the game we cannot lose, if anything.
Right.
I'm hoping once the Cowboys come here for the game that they at least look like they want to play, even if it's not even Jalen started. If that's even a Flacco game. Just look ready.
Unfortunately, I'll be there.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I'm praying that you at least get Jalen still at that point. They don't decide to start Gardner or
listen, I just want some type of peace in my life.
Just please give me a reason to be happy.
Exactly. Give me a reason to have driven 2 hours.
Thank you.
Just to make sure that I had a good time.
Please don't. I don't want to watch the Ewok jumping over people again like he did in that one game. And I was just like, please don't.
No, not at all.
None of those embarrassing plays that we just saw replayed over and over again every time we think about them playing us at home. But yeah, this has been great. And this is why I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to just say, hey, what you up to? But, at this point, I miss everybody. I'm not going to lie. All the people who I talk to regularly on Twitter, Shantae's, I'm going to be talking to her soon. But I just wanted to pick your brain. And 5 questions is really just a setup to talk about anything. But I always like to say 5 questions because a lot of the people that I've interviewed thus far since quarantine, I didn't really know per se. So I didn't want to intimidate them and say 10 questions. I'd be like, what the hell? What is this? But I thank you for playing along. And I'm going to definitely take your suggestion. Because when I do another link up episode, I'm just going to have to do a Battle of the Sexes type of mix thing because I'm getting tired of waiting for certain people's schedules.
I have one question. Can I choose violence that day?
Okay. No, and that's what I want.
Okay.
That's what I want. But I'm trying to also consider some people got kids, some people got they're so
for sure.
So I'm trying to get a nice little time, but it'll eventually pop off. And I'm just gonna put out feelers. I'm just gonna be like, who wants to play with me? Who wants to do it this time? And please say yes.
Okay. Okay, I'm down. I'm down.
I appreciate you, homie. I definitely appreciate you for making time. For sure. And like I said, I'm be watching football the rest of the night. I'll be definitely tuning into the verses, which I'm sure is probably starting now. I don't even know what time it is, but we gonna talk. And
For sure.
I appreciate you. Have a good night. And yeah, I'm gonna talk to you soon, brother, on Twitter.
Thank you, dear. Thank you. I
Good night,
appreciate you,
y'all.
sis.
Thanks for watching. Bye. And I'm gonna shut it down. I'm gonna send you the link later.
All right, babes. Appreciate you.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
All right. Bye.
Okay,
Bye. Bye.
bye.